You're listening to the Minutes on Growth podcast, the show that brings you mindfully curated insights into relationships, spirituality, personal development, and everything in between, with your host, Tannaz Hosseinpour. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Minutes on Growth. I'm your host, Tannaz Hosseinpour, and today I have Tim James with us, founder of Chemical Free Body, also known as the Health Hero. Welcome.
Tannaz, thank you for having me on your show today. Really excited to be here to share.
I'm really excited to hear everything that you have to say. Can you please start with your story? Because I think it's absolutely remarkable. Like, what made you want to become a coach and to kind of embark on this journey of health discovery?
Well, I never thought I would be in the health industry. I never thought I'd be a health coach. I never thought we would have detox and nutrition products. It's a completely different, it's almost like I got to pinch myself every day. So my backstory is I grew up over in Eastern Oregon. For those of you listening, that's pretty much like growing up in Montana. So it's up in the woods. I lived at the base of a mountain. I grew up hunting and fishing. So meat was a huge part of my lifestyle. And then I ended up playing baseball for 30 years. And let's just fast forward to age 37. I was 38 plus pounds overweight. I had skin issues. I had eczema on both of my elbows. I had a huge patch of eczema on my knee. My gut was all jacked up. I was eating Tums and Rolaids all day long for acid reflux, acid indigestion. And then it got worse. And then I started bleeding rectally. This went on for 2.5 years. Every time I would go poop. That's why my shirt says "Love when you poop." Because it used to be a very painful experience for me every day, day in, day out for years. And I had my head buried in the sand because, the doctors wanted me going on Prilosec and I was looking at potentially getting surgeries. And then that finally did happen. I finally had to be basically driven in the middle of the night in a van in Peru on a vacation, then life flighted to a hospital in Lima to get an emergency surgery. And that ruined my whole vacation. And that's when I realized that my poor health didn't affect just me. It affected everybody else around me because I ruined my wife's vacation at the time, her dad, everybody that was with us. And then I got wheeled back into the United States in a wheelchair. And then what happened was I was still like reading books and trying to figure it out, eating 5 meals a day instead of 3 and, eating more meat, all that stuff. I was drinking milk for strong bones, supposedly, and it just wasn't working. Then my buddy on my baseball team got cancer. He ended up passing away at age 40, Kalei Mahoy, and left 3 little boys behind. So that was really hard on me. And that was a shocker because my grandma had died of brain cancer. My aunt had died of skin cancer. They were older though. But to lose somebody like my age to cancer, that was the first time that ever happened. And I was like, geez, that's kind of spooky. And I got all these health issues going on. So I'm like, man, I hope I don't get it. And then my other friend, Charles, gets diagnosed with at age 43 with chronic lymphocytic leukemia, which is a blood cancer. And then he's the one that embarked on this journey and got all and basically saved my life by trying to save his. So he said, I'm going to the Hippocrates Health Institute in West Palm Beach, Florida, which is a detox and nutrition clinic. And will you go with me to support me, Tim? And I was like, yeah, man, whatever you need, I'll go help. So we go there. Day 1, my acid indigestion was gone. They teach for a healing diet. So it's all plants, which is like, I was scared because he's like, oh, by the way, when we get there, there's no meat, no dairy, no salt, no sugar, no, vinegar. And I'm like, what? Are you serious? What am I going to eat? So we had salads and sprouts and nuts and seeds and grains and beans and all these other things. And the chefs made it really good. And what was crazy was by day 3, I wasn't even hungry anymore. I'd lost I couldn't even eat, like literally couldn't eat because my cells had been so saturated with real nutrition, fresh living foods for a living body. In fact, their motto there is, what was the motto? It's like, something about the food. It's not the food in your life. That's what it is. It's not the food in your life. It's the life in your food. You have to be putting some type of living foods into your body because there's hormones, oxygen, phytochemicals, and enzymes. These are the micronutrients that a lot of people are not even aware of or let alone be talking about. A lot of people know about minerals, trace minerals, and vitamins, but this is a whole nother level. And when you harvest something, the hormones, oxygen, phytochemicals, and enzymes, which ironically, the acronym is HOPE, HOPE.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? Hormones, oxygen, phytochemicals, and enzymes. That's how you remember that. So those micronutrients then start dissipating very quickly. And so you need to eat them on the spot like a wild animal. So I started eating like a wild animal, and all of a sudden I had wild animal energy. By the end of the stay there, I felt like a chipmunk buzzing around. So the first class there was really important. It was called internal awareness. It was a 3.5-hour class. This doctor comes out and teaches us. And he started teaching us from the time we chew food until the time it exits the body, what happens. And I was like, wow, that class is really cool. And they actually started showing cameras going inside people's colons. Wow. And the reason why they showed that is because they're trying to get us to do what's called a colon hydrotherapy session, or colonic. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. For the listeners, if you're not familiar, I wasn't. You basically sit on a tube rectally, and water gently goes in and out of you for an hour, and it cleans your colon. Well, that doesn't sound very like I want to do that on a Friday afternoon, but and I told Charles, I'm like, I came here to help you, but I'm not doing that. But 3.5 hours later, after he showed us like what was going on, because here's the deal: an average person is walking around with 6 to 12 pounds of impacted fecal material in the small and large intestine, or just in the colon, and we have to get that garbage out of there, and it's just accumulated over time. So it's really detrimental to your health. The Royal Society of Medicine said that 85% of disease starts in the colon. And I've been living this lifestyle and at this work now for 10 years. And I totally concur with these guys. It just totally makes sense. So that's one of the first focuses we have over here, is getting people's pathway of elimination, their digestive tract, clean. So next day after that deal, I signed up. I go get a colon hydrotherapy session. They weigh me, and then they weigh me again afterwards. And I was 10 pounds lighter. I had 10 pounds
in one session?
In one session. And the record at that place was like, one lady she dropped like 27 or 28 pounds in one session. She had 27 pounds of impacted fecal material in her colon. Nasty. So how in the heck could you be healthy when you got all that nasty stuff in there? But the problem is we can't see it, Tannaz. We cannot see it. So it's like, oh, your kitchen's beautiful. It's all clean. But if I take my finger and put it up on top of the fridge, there's probably some dust up there. It's out of sight, out of mind. Because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there and it's not causing you problems. So then they showed us inside of colons, and it's like, 34-year-old female with breast cancer and Crohn's disease. And the inside of her colon was nasty. It was like yellow or green and browns. And then there's another guy, 64-year-old male with osteoporosis and colitis or something. And then, or parasites. You see worms crawling around inside of them. So they show all these examples of diseased colons, and then he shows what healthy colons look like. And that's when I'm like, I'm signing up for that colon hydrotherapy session. That did it for me. That 3.5 hour talk. All he had to do is like, here's what you look like. If he would have just showed me that, I'd have been out of there in 5 minutes, because it was like, a picture's worth 60,000 words basically. So what ended up happening is, by day 5, I woke up. I mean, I went through it wasn't fun. I had night sweats. I was irritable going through that first initial detox. I had a metallic taste coming out of my tongue because the heavy metals were exiting my body. Night sweats, like I said. But I didn't have it as bad as some people. Some people, rashes breaking out on their body, sometimes on their face. People had parasites. People had parasites crawling out their pores. One lady, when I was having lunch, she had a parasite crawling out her eye while I was having lunch with her. And I was like, holy shit. And freaked me out. But why is that? Because see, what we were doing is we were changing the internal terrain. Most of us are living a very stressed out life, and our bodies are highly acidic, high acid, and low oxygen. When you go to Hippocrates, they put you on the highest alkaline, highest oxygenated lifestyle possible, because harmful organisms like viruses, bacteria, molds, yeast, fungus, parasites, and mutagens, cancers, they thrive in a high acidic, low oxygen environment. So you change the terrain, and they got to pack their bags and leave. It's like a polar bear, and all of a sudden the sun comes out. The polar bear is like, I'm out of here. I got to go find someplace colder. So that's what ended up happening. I learned so much, but I had first-person experience. And by the end of that 5 days, Charles and I were walking back to our little hacienda, and I said, hey, man, do you feel as good as I do? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, dude, we have discovered the fountain of youth. I mean, I feel like I'm 19. I'm like, my arms are like tingling. My brain is like so clear. I feel so good. I dropped 11 pounds, Tannaz, the first week that I was there. In 60 days, I dropped all the weight. My skin condition on my elbow was gone, like literally in 60 days. I could feel my ribs again. The energy's back. I went home. We implemented it. By 8 months, that huge patch of eczema was gone on my knee. And I healed myself, and I've maintained this now for 10 years. January 1st this year was our 10-year anniversary for Charles and I going there. And the cool thing is he comes back home, sticks with the lifestyle, and he heals himself of this so-called incurable cancer, no chemo, no surgery, no radiation, and was able to see his son graduate high school and then go to father-son weekend. And him and I are still friends, and we play guitar together, and he's healthy, and he's ran 6 marathons. He was inspired to do that because his sister had always ran them, and it was one thing he did. So he got into exercise too. So we learned that you have to get your mindset right first, no matter what has happening going on. That's number one. Number two, then you detox, you proper nutrition and this type of stuff, and movement and exercise and sunshine and rest and all these things that we teach. And, you change the terrain and the body comes back.
Wow. I just got goosebumps that you both were able to heal yourself and, embark on this journey to optimal health. That's so wonderful.
Yeah. And I didn't know nothing about health. Nothing. Okay. I was completely clueless. I was just going along with what society told me to do. It wasn't working.
And most of us are actually like that. Most of us don't have the right information, and we live exactly as you said, such stressful lives. We're always getting takeout. We're, going to Starbucks for breakfast, and then you're getting something sugary like every single day on the go. And of course that impacts the body. Then you get sick, and then you go to the doctor, and then you end up with medicine, then you get more sick, and then the cycle just keeps on going until you reach a point where your body crashes. Yeah. So thank you for, sharing some light on that. Yeah. I know that you have 4 core secrets to health. Would you like to share them?
Yeah, absolutely. So these are things like I had over 5,000 people come to my house, and we taught detox, juicing, and raw living food dinner classes. We'd make food and all this stuff and hang out with people. We did this for years. I actually started growing sprouts and delivering them to 40 to 50 families a week that were cancer patients, because sprouts and wheatgrass are some of the most powerful foods, land-based, that you can put in your body, like 30 times more nutritious than fresh picked vegetables. So we did a lot of that. And so I got a lot of people juicing. But the problem is the people that didn't have cancer, the average people that just wanted to lose 30, 40, 50 pounds, look a little younger, feel better, maybe get off a medication or two. They weren't really too bad yet, even though I think if you're on medication, you're on a really slippery slope. You want to get off that stuff. But they'd buy the juicer and they would start juicing. And then 30, 60, 90 days later, the juicer's back in the cupboard and they weren't doing anything. So I literally went back and I was upset. I'm like, I want to help these people. And I'd go back to them. I'm like, why aren't you doing this? So I interviewed 100 people that came to my class, got excited, took action, and then fell off the wagon. And they said, look, it's too complicated, growing sprouts and juicing and cleaning that damn juicer. And I did feel better when I was doing it, but my husband won't help out, or my wife won't participate. She didn't come to the class or whatever. So I said, how can I help you then? They said, I need something simple and easy, and I need a plan. So I went back and I thought of what are the top 3 things that I could teach people that would make the most impact with the least amount of effort. And then we added a 4th one later. So core secret number 1, less than 5% of the population is doing this. So there's 95% of us have major room for improvement here. And this is a game changer. So you drink half of your body weight in liquid ounces of purified water. That's the key word. Purified. We got to have clean water. We don't want all this garbage in it. And also, if you're on a city tap water, the water has to be restructured, period. Because when you put high pressure water in high pressure pipes, it messes with the clusters of the water. So it gets too big. So instead of 4 or 5 per cluster, it gets like 20 to 25. And that means that it won't go through your intestinal lining very well. It's like trying to throw a bowling ball through a chain link fence. It just bounces off of it. So by restructuring your city high pressure tap water, it turns it into sand and it goes right through the chain link fence into the bloodstream. And so your cells can use it. And I experienced this 2.5 years ago when I learned about this, and I started drinking, because I was telling everybody about drinking water because it changes everything. But you're peeing a lot. You drink and pee, and you drink and pee. And that's a good thing. Well, when you drink restructured water, it just disappears. And then you can drink more of it. It disappears. And then 2 hours later, then you pee a lot. So it told me that my body takes it in, it goes out and does stuff in the bloodstream, the lymphatic system, and then it comes back and it's done. And then whoosh, and then out it comes. So that was a big one. And we had one gal, Carol, she dropped 50 pounds in 8 months by simply adding this tactic to her life. She didn't do anything else, simply by adding more. She got off swapped coffee in the morning for water. She put lemon with it too. And then that was it. That's what she did. So, I mean, it's a big deal. Your body's mostly made of water. Your bones are even 22% water. So it's really important. And people just aren't doing it. Now, if you live in an arid climate, it's hotter, or you're doing like triathlons and stuff like that, then you need a little bit more. And this would caffeine-free teas would count. If somebody took like our green 85 juice formula and mixed that with water, that would count. But, wine and beer and, pop, that wouldn't count as water. So that's core secret number 1. Core secret number 2, this one's really cool. Less than 4% of the population is doing this. And this is what I just mentioned earlier that I learned at that class, internal awareness. Chew your food until liquefied. That's it. Chew your food until liquefied. The first domino in digestion is chewing your food. You have teeth for a reason. And not only do your teeth masticate and make the particles smaller so it's easier for your stomach to break it down, but it also loads in your mouth. You have 2 ducts in your upper mouth and 4 in your lower, and they super load your food with these enzymes, amylase and lipase, to break down your starches and fats. So then you swallow it, and then those enzymes in your stomach break that stuff down. So that's really important. So if you don't chew your food, you're going to get fermentation and gut rot, and you don't want that, because fermentation will slowly destroy those little hair-like structures called intestinal villi that create that peristaltic action that push food through you and that pull the absorption and pull the nutrients in through the intestinal lining into the blood. So this is the internal engine of the body, and you don't want to kill those little suckers or make them fermenting all the time. You want digestion and assimilation of nutrients, not fermentation and gut rot. Now, here's the other benefit of chewing your food until liquefied. Dr. Gabriel Cousens, he's 80 years old, and he can do like 30 pull-ups. Okay, who can do that? This is a guy you need to listen to. When you chew your food really well, you're actually stimulating meridian points in the teeth, and you can uptake your serotonin, your happy juice levels, by up to 500%. Think about that. This is a massive statement, because how many people are dealing with depression and anxiety and worry and stress, and they're buying serotonin, products or trying to do stuff like you can't even. It's so powerful. I mean, 500% increase in serotonin levels. I mean, it doesn't cost you anything. You just have to chew your freaking food. Did you see that? A leaf just fell off my tree.
Yeah, I was shocked by the statement.
The tree is freaked out, people. It can't believe it. It's going to start chewing its nutrients even better now. So anyway, so it's a big deal. And again, less than 4% of the population is doing this. It's a game changer. It's foundation of health. And we have people just like, they get the gas and the bloating starts going away. It's awesome. Okay, core secret number 3. Now that you're drinking lots of water, so your cell's hydrated and you can take good nutrients into the cell, and you're chewing your food really well. Now you want to avoid liquids with meals. Less than 2% of the population is doing this. Everybody drinks liquids with their meals. I know I used to. Glass of water, you start with that, and then there's coffee and beer and wine, all this stuff. So why would you want to avoid liquids with meals? That sounds weird. Well, because you just loaded all your food with those enzymes. And if you drink purified, restructured water or beer or wine or apple juice or anything or tea, you're now going to dilute those digestive enzymes, and you're going to stop the digestion and assimilation and go back to fermentation and gut rot. So it's real simple. You just avoid it. And core secret number 4, the last one, is you do some breath exercises or breath work prior to consuming that meal. Why? Well, we live in a stressed out society, period. I mean, we're just all stressed. There's, like family stress, emotional stress, relationship stress, financial stress, COVID stress. I mean, there's just so many different stresses. And even if you don't think you're stressed out, you probably are. There's other things too, electromagnetic frequency stress and there's just so much stuff. So when you're in stress mode, even if you don't think you are, your body still thinks a saber-toothed tiger is chasing you. So the blood leaves the organ systems and it goes to the extremities, your hands, legs, arms, and feet, to fight or flight, run, get the heck out of there. And you can't digest your food that well. So simply by like taking a big breath in through your nose, and I know you're a breath work coach, and then pause at the bottom or pause at the top, and then release out through the mouth. Nice, long, slow flow. Just let it all go. And then pause at the bottom with your lungs completely empty. And then back in through the nose. And then suspend the breath and hold. And then release out through the mouth. And as you go through this process, you continue to relax. And it literally, you only have to do this for like a minute or two. And probably those of you that just did it with me, you're already feeling a little bit better. I mean, it works so fast. It's ridiculous how powerful breath is. It's unbelievable, amazing. And you take that blood from your extremities and it gently just rushes back into the organ system so you can now digest your food properly. Now, again, less than 1% of the population is doing this. And how well is this working? Well, it's worked for me. I went from age 37, now I'm 47, and I'm gazillion times healthier than I've ever been. I've maintained ideal health. Now, health is not, it's a game. It's like, how young can I get? And we ship products worldwide now. And with the COVID delays, it can take 2 weeks up to a month to get stuff to like Europe or Australia, right? And we have people emailing us and texting us and reaching out on social media and saying, hey, I'm already feeling better. I have less gas. I have less bloating. My energy's up. My mental clarity's better, less headaches. I mean, just all kinds of stuff. And they're not even on the products yet. Why? They're doing these core 4 secrets. These are things that we teach that are foundational to your health. And if somebody pays me thousands of dollars to coach them one-on-one, it's the first thing we set up on their phone as recurring appointments. When do they go to bed? When they wake up? And these core 4 secrets. We put them in, as an example for lunch, we would say, chew food as a reminder, avoid liquids, breath, probiotics, enzymes, and then we make it that repeat every day at around lunchtime. That way they see it every day and their phone will program their subconscious mind. And within 3 to 4 months, they have a hard time forgetting about it. And this can go for anything. That little tactic works for if you want to play the piano or, call your mom or improve your relationship with your kids. Just put it in your phone and make it a reoccurring appointment and it'll program you and then it'll happen.
I love that. Thank you so much for the 4 core secrets. And the statistics, they're mind-blowing to me that less than 5%, less than 2%, it's crazy. I had a question that actually came up. You said avoid liquids with meals. Do you have a rule as to like how long should we wait before a meal or after a meal to have liquids?
Yeah, actually, that's the first time I forgot to tell everybody. So I can't believe it. So anyway, so what you do for beginners, you stop drinking about a half an hour before, then you wait an hour afterwards, and then start drinking liquids again, and a lot of them. Now, if you're stage 4 or something, you're an Olympic level athlete, or you just want to look and feel your best, then you would stop consuming liquids an hour before you eat, and then wait at least 2 hours afterwards, and then consume a lot of liquids again. So
wow, there we go. Great. Thank you. Okay. You talked about supplements and you talked about clients around the world receiving your supplements, which got me thinking about your turmeric 100, which then got me thinking about how do we build up our immune system to protect ourselves and our families, especially right now with all that is going on with the pandemic. Any tips on that?
Yeah. So for boosting immunity, I'll just rapid fire some out here. Okay. So number 1, I would say go to that breath work. Okay. Number 1, use that breath work multiple times during the day, especially if you're in a stressed out situation. Just go to the bathroom, shut the door, do some breath work. Do it before you eat. Do it in the car. Do it when you wake up. Do it before you go to bed. That breath work is so empowering. That's going to boost your immune system, period. Another thing you can do is you can stand in like a Superman position with your arms up. So if you look at our icon is like this. It's a person standing with their arms up with a green flame over their head. Okay, that's our logo, our symbol, because that is a power position. And they've documented this like at Harvard, like you can boost your immune system measurably, like in 2 minutes just by standing in a power position with your arms up, or you can put your arms on your side and stand there like Wonder Woman, right? Or Superman or whatever. And you will boost your immune system. People think this is woo-woo stuff. Go look it up. I did, because I didn't believe in any of this stuff. I was the most skeptical guy you've ever seen. But guess what? I got first-person experience. I tried this stuff, and these are the things that works. You got the clean water. You're doing that. Make sure that you crack your windows at night so you're getting fresh air. That's going to boost your immune system. We also teach people to get outside and get sunshine. Good Lord. I mean, that is so important. You have to get outside and get sunshine. Even in a snowstorm, just make sure you're wearing natural fiber clothing, not polyesters or synthetics, because those are going to block those UV rays. You need those to hit your skin. So again, supplementing with vitamin D is really important. We have that in our green formula. When people take our greens, they're also taking their vitamin D supplement. We have 1,000 international units of vitamin D3 per serving. Other things to do to boost your immune system. Hang around people that you love and friends and spend time with them. And that's so important. Exercise, moving the body daily. And exercise doesn't mean running a marathon. You might be in a situation where you've never exercised before. Just go walk around the block. The habit is more important than the distance and how much time you put into it. And after a year or 2 or 3, maybe you go run your first 5K, something like that, right? Also, mini trampolines are one of the best things to move the lymphatic system. So for people that are getting started off, I recommend walking and mini trampolines. And if you don't have a mini trampoline or can't afford it, you can stand there and it's a Qigong exercise and just bounce on your heels. Just in place. You just do these little bouncing, kind of bend your knees a little bit in your elbows and just sit and bounce for a couple minutes and stop, and you will feel energy. You will feel electricity running through your body. Try it out. 2 minutes, just bouncing on your heels. Look up Qigong exercises. And that's something I'm a yoga instructor, so I actually do that exercise as a yoga instructor. That's the first exercise I do. And then I do a body twist 1, 2 in the same position. We do 5 minutes of each, and then we start the yoga practice because it works so well. Let's see what else. Eat 80% plant-based diet or greater. Look at the blue zones, the centurions that live the longest, Loma Linda, California, the Okinawans in Japan, Sardinians, and then the Costa Ricans. I mean, the 80% plant-based diet or greater. That's one thing that they do. Respect your elders. This is another thing that will boost your immune system. Having respect for the people before you. Unless they're really dumb, then you wouldn't want to do that and they're doing bad things. But
Well,
just do it for the nice ones. But let's see what else to boost the immune system. There's just so many things. Oh, grounding and earthing, making sure that you're and getting in water, going to the beach and getting into water and getting outside and bringing those negative ions and the earth's energy and frequency. Look up grounding or earthing. And I mean, here's what happens. The earth has a frequency. And it's like, look at it as like a big, huge battery, okay? And we're part of it, okay? There's no separation between us and Earth. There's no separation between me and you. There's no separation between us and a giraffe clear over in Africa. We're all connected. And as soon as you disconnect from the Earth, you break free of the Earth, its connection from your bare skin, inflammation starts in the body. And inflammation is the precursor to all disease, period. On a cellular level, inflammation begins as soon as you break free of that Earth's frequency. Now, as soon as you touch it again with your feet, your body in a millisecond is completely enveloped in this energy and frequency, and the inflammation starts going down. Now, we can measure this through live blood cell microscopy. I can look at somebody's blood and then put you out on the lawn for 4 hours, 2, 3, 4 hours, bring you back in and look at your blood again, and the blood will be racing around, racing. And it's all about blood flow to taking nutrients to working muscles and joints and removing waste and inflammation. So blood flow is everything. And for those of you that maybe live in cold climates, are like, I can't go outside. There's like snow out there. There's things called grounding mats and earthing mats. You can purchase these and sleep on them, even sheets now, so that when you're sleeping, you're grounding. Actually, right now, you can't. Here, I'll show you. But you see this? This pad, it's plugged in. I have one down below me too, in my feet, and I'm touching it. And I have a foot roller below me. I'm always stimulating my feet. I'm always getting grounded while I work, and it's a huge hack. And it's free energy. It's literally free. It doesn't cost anything. Just go outside, get in water, sunshine. Nature's it. That's it. Get outside and get nature. Over in China, they actually have therapies where they heal people. They just put them out in nature and have them walk around. That's how powerful nature is. So lots of fresh air, fresh, clean water, fresh food, good sleep, exercise, movement, sunshine, prayer, breath work, all these things can eat. And it sounds like a lot, but just pick one, get a habit, program it your phone, and then go to the next, go to the next, go to the next. I've been at this 10 years. So all I do is I just keep stacking things in, trying them out. If they work, I keep them. If they don't work, I pitch it and try something else. And these things work.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing them. We're coming towards the end, but I want the listeners to have an opportunity to be able to, get your Green 85, your Turmeric 100. If you can just talk a little bit about your Turmeric 100, because I'm Persian. We put turmeric on everything. We've been trained as kids to obsessed about it, but I've noticed that not everyone likes the taste on food.
Well, they're just crazy. What's wrong with these people?
So how can we bring it in as supplements, and can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. Well, we've known about the healing power of turmeric for a long time in the last 10 years in my practice. So what we do is we've been having people, I take turmeric, put turmeric on all your food. We have them do that because it's so good. So what we did is we took the active ingredient in turmeric, the curcuminoids. We have a 95% curcuminoid product. And then we bought a machine that makes it really, really tiny molecules, and then we suspended it in a purified water solution, and then we did a natural orange flavor to make it taste good, and some monk fruit. And guess what? Oh, and our stabilizer is vitamin C. So instead of using like alcohol that's going to denature things, or some type of citric acid or something like that could actually feed a bacteria in your gut called Citrobacter. So these are the things that I'm a fanatic about this stuff. So what we end up happening here is we now have a little 2-ounce bottle. It's called Turmeric 100, and it's well over 100 times more absorbable and anti-inflammatory. In fact, the scientific research that we based all this on shows that this type of solution is 185 times more absorbable and anti-inflammatory. So what's cool about it is you just squirt it in your mouth. It tastes like a creamsicle too, so it's just beautiful. And you squirt it in your mouth, and like 20 drops worth, swish it around really quick, and then wait. And it just disappears in your mouth because it's so small. It goes right through the mucous membrane, and instantly in 15 seconds, it's in your bloodstream. Within 5 minutes, your entire body is being saturated with these micro turmeric curcuminoid particles that are reducing inflammation on the cellular level, so that the hormones now can attach to your blood, to your cells, and start communicating. T3, T4, vitamin D, which is actually a hormone. It's not a vitamin. All these things can start working better. Nutrients can now come into the cell better because the inflammation's gone. The cell can expel waste better. And people with joint pain, back pain, arthritis, osteoporosis, headaches. Even one of my buddies, I'm not making a claim here because I can't, I won't, but he had high blood pressure too. And he took it 3 times, and the lowest his blood pressure had been was like 130/90. He's usually up 140s, 160s. And he took it 3 times, and his blood pressure was 110/80.
Amazing.
110/80.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool. So I was really excited. I got my mom and dad on it because my dad's got really bad joint pain. I just took it to him this weekend, drove it down there back home to Eastern Oregon, and we're very excited about that product. The Green 85, that one replaces the 85% of the nutrients that have been farmed out of our soils. And I healed myself through juicing, and I juice every day. So that's how I healed myself. So we made a product so that people didn't have to clean that darn juicer. So it's this highly concentrated juice extracts, 10-to-1, 20-to-1, 6-to-1 concentrates of things like wheatgrass juice and chlorella and spirulinas and moringa leaf and dulse, which is very high in iodine, which is good for thyroid health. There's lots of zinc in there, vitamin A, and with the D3 added in there, now we've got this. It's turned into this super virus protection product as well. But our specialties are really also our detox products that clean out the blood, the fat, and the muscle tissue, and the gut. But we have those as well.
Amazing. And where can they purchase this?
Just go to our website at chemicalfreebody.com. That's chemicalfreebody.com. And if you're new, you can just click on the products tab and go down to the savings bundles, and that way you can get a discount. We have a little jumpstart bundle, and you can go all the way up to the total energy and detox bundle, which is what I take on a monthly basis. And then at checkout, they can put in the code. What code would you like them to have?
Minutes on growth.
Okay, so put in minutes on growth, all one word, lowercase, minutes on growth, and you'll get an extra 5%. So you get a double discount. And don't worry, because we have a double your money back guarantee on all of our products, because these are all real food, real juice extracts, real herbs. There's no synthetics, and everything's sun-dried or air-dried under 110 degrees. There's no slave labor. I've went through everything. And most importantly, the other ingredients, we don't have any magnesium stearate, no silicon dioxide, no dicalcium phosphate, none of these other ingredients in your products that are just not good for you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Tim, for sharing all your information. And I know that you have a podcast as well, the Health Hero Show. So definitely check it out if you guys want some more resources on all the things we discussed. And check out the website, and bring turmeric into your diet.
Oh, yeah.
And do the 4 core secrets. And I'm so excited to actually start doing them myself. I just realized that I might not be doing 1 or 2. So thank you for
That's cool. That's really cool. And we mentioned earlier, you said that your home country is really big into fasting right now. So I went into depth on intermittent fasting and how it can maximize your health on episode 10 of the Health Hero Show. So that'd be a good one to check out.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tim. And thank you everyone for listening. Speak soon. Thank you for joining us this week on Minutes on Growth. If you enjoyed today's episode, then make sure you never miss a show by clicking the subscribe button now.